Is
arguing. Remember,
no, it's not something like being.
No.
I'm not here to like argue. I don't have that time.
Nobody's arguing with you.
Right now,
Nobody's arguing with you.
I'm in front of my computer. I'm working, but I just like
that's fine. That's fine. That's good and well, brother. But listen, this is not an argument. Remember, when you come up on the panel and make certain statements, you need to be able to back those statements up. So, nobody's arguing with you. We're just trying to understand if you even understand the issue we have with your people.
I understand. And you guys have been saying this for more than a year now. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Why are we not spending this time to look for the solution? Why the quarrel and all these things?
Hold on.
Even spoiling the mind of the new generation coming about both of us.
Okay.
These both countries are great countries. We can work together.
Yes, we can.
The fact Nigeria is not going well don't mean like you are superior. We are not trying to like be superior. You understand? Let's work together. That's what I'm talking about. Not this Nigeria, that Nigeria. Nigeria have the good and bad. Nigeria have rich and poor. Nigeria have everything. So I believe so with you guys. So let's work together. More like trying to bring the downfall of this country. Try to bring the downfall of this country. It's not. I don't think is very nice. I don't have the strength to like.
Okay, fine. So let's again go back to the basics. So you said we are trying to tarnish the image of Nigeria. I have to correct you there. Most South Africans have never been to Nigeria. As a matter of fact, there's more Nigerians that have been to South Africa than South Africans who have been in your country. Okay. Moreover, the reputation that you now have in South Africa, and not only in South Africa, even in the UK, the US, Malaysia, Seychelles, even these countries that are now banning your travel documents, those countries did not just wake up and decide to have an issue with Nigerians. It is your countrymen who go into these countries and they commit crimes. And then, because remember, when you are outside your country, you are representing your country. You are an ambassador as an individual. The same way that when your kids leave the house, we tell them in South Africa, when you go outside of this house, you are representing me as your father and my name. So whatever you do outside will come back to me, because people want to know, whose child is this? Where does he come from? He has no manners. He has no respect, nothing. That is how my name gets damaged. That is how my reputation gets damaged in the community, because then people are like, no, Sigma's children are so unruly. He is a poor parent and he is not producing or teaching his kids respect. So when your people go outside the country and commit crimes, they are the ones that are tarnishing your country's image. It's not the locals where they go. Nobody ever wakes up and wants to talk about Nigerians, ever. We all want the same things. We all want like peaceful coexistence and like cooperation and trade and all of those good things. But we cannot ignore who we do business with. We cannot ignore who we are dealing with in our communities. So unfortunately, in South Africa, the Nigerians that we have been so horrible. They commit crimes. They do all of these terrible things. That is why you now have the reputation you now have. So you cannot come here and say every day Nigeria this, every day Nigeria that, when Nigerians are committing crimes in South Africa every day. Do you understand?
Yeah, can I speak?
Yeah, you can go for it. I think Leon heard what we wanted to say to you.
Yeah. I was about to bring a figure, and I just did my research, and I found out that the Statista is the most recent figure we have on Nigerian immigration on South Africa. Fortunately, I wanted to bring it to our attention that Nigeria is the sixth the sixth most immigrants you guys have in your country, which is less than the 40,000 figure, and it's actually comparable to the amount of immigrants we have of South Africans in Nigeria, which is about 25,000 immigrants. So yeah, the numbers are comparable, but the numbers that are not comparable is illegal immigrants. I agree that in Nigeria we barely have any South African illegal immigrants. Yeah, I accept that. But the problem is, if you add the figure of the Nigerian legal immigrants and Nigerian illegal immigrants, if you add the figures together, it does not still compare to the amount of Zimbabwe legal immigrants. So it's obvious that Nigeria is not really, Nigeria is not really the top issue.
Okay, hold on. So, first of all, again, we need to establish the facts, right? By the way, when you say the numbers are comparable, I would like to see that source, but that's a topic for another day.
I'll give you.
No, it's okay. So here's the thing that we need to establish. I don't understand what the figures have to do with the conversation that we're having right now. I really don't, because all you need to do is, let me just ask you this basic question. Are there Nigerians in South Africa?
Yes, they are.
Are they committing crimes?
Yes, they are.
So that's all we need to know. Even if it's one that is committing crime.
Can I ask you a different question? Are they South Africans in Nigeria?
No. Hold on. But like, what's the point with the figures then? If you and I know intuitively and commonsensically that there are Nigerians in South Africa committing crimes, what do the figures have to do with anything?
Okay, Sigma, can you please answer me honestly? Are they South Africans in Nigeria?
No, but I'm happy to answer that question. But remember, this is an exchange. I asked you a question first. You have to answer mine first. Because I believe because I believe when you brought up the figures, surely it's logic. When you brought up the figures, surely there's a certain point that you want to make, that you want to arrive at. So that's what I'm trying to understand.
So
Sigma, can I explain something to the gentleman? Let me tell you something, Derek. Sorry for interjecting. The Zimbabweans that you are talking about, majority of Zimbabweans are hustling here. There are some Zimbabweans that are doing crime, but majority that we know, they are hustling here. They are working. That's what I know about Zimbabweans. So don't compare your criminality to Zimbabweans and come with the figures that there are more Zimbabweans. Yes, you are right, but Zimbabweans are working. I know many Zimbabweans that are working. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sigma, I don't know if you can unmute.
Yeah,
Mr. Sigma.
I can hear you,
So I wanted to ask you,
but your figures, it sounds like whataboutism to say, yeah, but there are more Zimbabweans than Nigerians that are committing crimes. But already that argument is flawed because you are creating a whataboutism. And in addition to that, we've never said Nigerians are the only ones committing crimes in South Africa. That is why I wanted to understand why you bring up these figures.
You're making another statement.
Oh, okay, go for it.
So are these South Africans in Nigeria?
Yeah, sure they are.
Are these South Africans committing crimes in Nigeria?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, they are actually. I can give you articles if you want. Should we deport them all?
You can, if you find the South African,
yes,
they're committing crime,
tell them to come back.
Tell them to come back.
If they are committing crime, they tell them to come back.
They are committing crime in your land. Tell them to come back.
Tell them to come back.
Make a plan. Send a plane.
Nigeria is your country. Yes. We can even make a donation to book flights for them.
No problem. No problem. Mr. Sigma,
we can even make donations.
Mr. Sigma, I want to ask you a honest question. Do you think that the amount of crimes the Nigerian immigrants are committing in South Africa is the highest level of crimes committed by immigrants in South Africa?
Well, I mean, it depends how you quantify crime. So, for example, let me just put this into perspective for you to understand. So there's different categories of crime, right? And each immigrant that has come here has found their own crime survival tactic, right? For instance, Zimbabweans come here and they are engaged in cable theft. They spike our cars on the road. They do robberies and house breakings and things like that. And they're quite vicious, right? Mozambicans, for example, also commit crimes. They hijack our vehicles, they steal the cars, get them across the borders and things like that. And Somalis and like all these people, Pakistanis and everybody else, they are running illegal spaza shops that result in our children losing their lives because of the expired goods. Nigerians are mostly dominating the powder space. They are peddling and dealing in powder and destroying our communities. They run, these churches that are basically money laundering fronts. They're engaged in human trafficking and things like that. So you tell me, what your question is, so are you trying to measure the seriousness of the crimes, or what? Are you saying that?
No. I'm trying to get the whole picture. I'm just honestly trying to get the whole picture. So what you are trying to say is that Nigerians are committing the most crimes, or Nigerians are committing the most serious and severe crimes in South Africa right now?
I'm saying they are committing crimes. Honestly, the severity. Hold on. Hold on. The severity or gravity of the crimes do not matter. Even if a Nigerian is here and stealing a chocolate bar at the shop, it doesn't matter. That is crime. But what I'm going to ask you is... I know. Yeah, but hold on. I want to ask you a question now. Have you heard of Nigerians committing crimes outside of South Africa? So countries like the UK, Germany, and things like that. Have you ever heard of...
I've also... Yeah, definitely. We are a huge bunch, definitely. But
what kind of crimes do they usually
Nigerians... Hold on, Sigma. Hold on. Nigerians are actually one of the most richest group of people in the US. Nigerians are one of the most richest top 10 richest group of people in the UK. So Nigerians are also one of the most productive people in other countries.
Hold on, brother. We are not talking about that, because again, we're going to get into that and you're going to fail to demonstrate it to me. But like,
I can give you stats.
No, but like, think about it. Honestly speaking, you are saying to me that Nigerians are the most successful group in the United States. Are you really saying that?
They are one of the... They are one of... Do you have selective hearing? Please, don't be dishonest.
No.
I see how you favorite.
No, wait. If I ask you a question, it means I'm looking for clarity. So your responsibility at that point is to correct my statement if it's wrong, because it's a question. So don't talk about selective hearing and smartness and things like that, because you don't want to go there. But let's get back to the argument.
I said it's one of the most.
Fine. So you've clarified. That's fine. You've clarified. But my issue is, I don't know what that has to do with anything, because we're talking about criminals here.
Yeah, we're talking about criminals, but the point is generalization.
No, hold on.
Among about 600,000 illegal immigrants combined, I'm assuming that the percentage of criminality...
You're saying illegal.
Less than 2%.
No. I said Nigerians. I just narrowed it down. I didn't say illegal foreigners. I said Nigerians. I made it very narrow. I didn't say illegal. I made it very narrow.
I was talking about Nigerians. It's less...
But your statement doesn't say Nigerians.
Less than 2% of your entire nation. I said Nigerian illegal and legal immigrants combined. Less than 2%. That's a very generous figure itself.
No, that's not true. That's not accurate. Do you know do you know the percentage?
Okay, hold on. According to Statista, South Africans has the highest number of... Hold on, I want to support my claim. I was about to support my claim. According to Statista, South Africa has the highest number of reported crimes. That is assault, common assault. You guys have the highest crime index.
Obvious, because it's our country.
Hold on.
But that's obvious, that's our country.
Can I please submit my points? Can I submit my point?
But hold on, no.
South Africa has the highest crime index.
No, we're not doing this.
Among of the typical crimes committed in South Africa.
Listen.
My God, let me finish, please.
No, wait. Before you do, remember, this is an engagement. You're not just going to be the only one talking, okay? So here's the thing. Before you even go further...
Just a minute, 30 seconds.
No.
Actually, no. Hey, we're not the record.
Sorry, guys. Let me just say
this person is here to engage, or is here to tell us.
Are you here to engage or to tell us what to do?
He wants to make a public announcement.
Are complaining about Nigeria, the drug, this thing is less than, it's not even mentioned at all as one of the most common crimes committed in South Africa. That's to tell you that I'm sure if you guys see in Nigeria selling illegal substances, you guys are going to report it, or you want to tell me that the crimes that Nigeria has committed in South Africa is underreported. If that is not the argument, I would say that Nigerians are the least of your problems. Even the criminal type of criminal activities Nigeria has committed in South Africa, because it's less of your problems. The most problems you guys have is common assault by a huge margin, and assault by a huge margin. So the group of people committing those activities, I think you guys should focus on that.
Okay, so you've made your point. Now, let's start here. You have just quoted crime statistics about South Africa. Do you understand just how stupid that is? And I'll tell you why it's stupid. Because you are talking about crime statistics in South Africa in general, which means most people who are in prison in this country will obviously be South Africans, because South Africa has its own criminals just like any other country. The statistics that you just given now has absolutely nothing to do with the issue that we're talking about, because we have never claimed that Nigerians are the only ones committing crimes in this country, and you know this.
You said,
hold on. I allowed you to speak. So honestly speaking, it sounds to me like you're just trolling and just wasting our time at this point, because if you want to have an intelligent conversation, I cannot go and tell you that you just said to me that there are South Africans in Nigeria committing crimes. Imagine if I went on some random site and Googled crime statistics on assault and all of these things in Nigeria. Of course, it will be mostly Nigerians, predominantly because it's your country. And then I say to you, yeah, so therefore South Africans are the least of your problems. Does that make any sense to you?
I asked you a question before.
No. I'm asking you
I said, why is Nigeria the topic? Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to answer your question. Yeah, I asked, is the crime that
that's Nigeria by answering their question, Baba. That's by.
I would like to caution them. I was in their space even last week, cautioning them that the problem with using reported incidents for registered crime, it is problematic in many ways, because firstly, the reported crimes do not necessarily constitute the total number of crime incidents that happened. We're talking about only the ones that are reported. And secondly, I brought it to the attention that in South Africa, we have a problem. Arrest and conviction rate is less than 20%, which means over 70-something or 80% of crimes go unreported, and we don't know who committed those crimes. It could be Nigerians, it could be whatever. Now, it becomes a problem also when someone says in South Africa, majority of criminals are South Africans, because now in proportion to our population of about 60 million, if that is correct, Commander George will have a different idea. Clearly, the percentages are slightly lower for South Africans. That's why I always tell people it's incorrect to say majority of criminals are South Africans. The fact that a South African is documented, a foreigner is not documented, and also depending on where that crime is committed and what time of the day, meaning some of the crimes are committed somewhere in the bush. Someone is not, for instance, you look at the issue of rhino horn, for instance. It's mostly Mozambicans who are doing that, and some Zimbabweans and all that. And if there are no cameras in that state or in that place, or it's committed in the early hours of the morning or whatever, the chances are you're not going to arrest the person who committed that. But now, if a South African commits something next to an ATM or any other place or in the CBD, where usually there are cameras or whatever, and also the fingerprints are there, the chances are you are more likely to arrest someone who's on the system. And the last point also is that our crime stats don't take into consideration also the arrest and conviction rate, does not take into consideration someone who would have bribed their way to freedom, especially which is what Nigerians are doing. And also it does not take into consideration there are South Africans who are convicted or who are in Sun City Remember, not everyone is convicted who is in prison. There are South Africans who are on trial simply because they can't raise a bail of 500 rand or something. We know many such cases. So now, prison population is not, I've told the EFF guys, prison population is not a good reflection to be saying who is ilento. That's why now, if you're gonna do your data analysis, anyway, it into his so yeah, that's all that I wanted to say. So therefore, I'll always defend umuntu still majority of prisoners or perpetrators are South Africans. I don't agree with that because of those reasons. In his colonial and Ama foreigners, they are very. If we saying they were 15 to whatever lento, and looking at the number of crime incidents, it's not conclusive. I mean, it's inconclusive to be saying who are the majority of the people. But a lazy conclusion will be that it is South African simply because, of course, they are documented and good enough fingerprints and all that. But I mean, a prison population of 150, around 150 out of a 60 million population, then you want to come and say South Africans are criminals and all that. No. I disagree with that. Thanks.
No, very true. I completely agree with you, Mr. Grant. And it's actually very good logic to say that the prison population is not a true reflection of the crime demographics in the country because like number one, like you said, not every crime is reported. As a matter of fact, I would make the assumption that in fact most criminals haven't been caught, haven't been prosecuted, because how the government and things like that collect crime statistics is they look at police reports and things like that, police statements, the number of convictions, court documents, and all of those things, and that is how they come to a faint kind of like figure as to what the statistic is like. So that logic is flawed. The logic they're using is not only flawed but quite stupid, because if they really believe that the prison population is the truest reflection of crime demographics in the country, then there should be no crime at all, because it would mean that all the criminals are locked up. That's the IQ level of these people. So obviously most crimes are not reported, and this is why the communities are in the state they're in and they're wreaking havoc everywhere. It's because majority of criminals have not been caught, and that is why, like, to me, Mr. Grant, like when I hear these guys speak, sometimes I even question their education level, because it just makes zero sense. Thank you, Mel.
Yeah, hello. Can I ask a question? I have a question.